In a year when half the world's people live without press freedom, Tim, I have to wonder, can democracy really survive if so many voices are silenced?
Yeah, and today is May 5th, 2025. The new World Press Freedom Index just came out. It's, well, honestly historic, but not in a good way. The global average has dropped below 55 points for the first time ever. Ellie, to most people, that might sound abstract, but that number, it actually means something big, doesn't it?
It does. It's not just a number, Tim. For the first time, Reporters Without Borders has put the global state of press freedom into their difficult situation category. That means journalism is being threatened in ways we haven't really seen before. Half of the world's countries now have poor press freedom conditions, and more than half the global population lives where journalism is either dangerous or, honestly, barely exists.
Let's break that down. What's actually behind this drop? Is it just about violence against journalists, or is it broader?
Physical threats are definitely part of it. Violence, imprisonment, even disappearances. But the main threat this year is economic fragility. RSF says that in 160 out of 180 countries, media outlets are financially unstable. That's because of things like concentrated media ownership, government interference, advertisers using financial leverage, and big tech dominating the ad market.
Wait, so it's not just governments cracking down? The business side is kind of collapsing too.
Exactly. The United States, for example, has dropped to 57th place, its lowest ever. And the main driver isn't violent repression, but economic pressure, especially on local news. That creates what they call news deserts. Then there are things like cuts to public broadcasting. In Ukraine, when USAID funding dropped, a lot of newsrooms became unstable almost overnight, and in places like Gaza and Haiti.
Sorry, just to clarify, news deserts, that means, whole communities without local news at all?
Yeah, exactly. Places where people just don't have access to any real local reporting. And in conflict zones, the media economy has pretty much collapsed. China, Uganda, Ethiopia, they're now considered very serious threats, with outright crackdowns on journalists.
So it's not only authoritarian governments. Even established democracies are seeing declines. Why does that matter so much?
Well, if press freedom can erode in democracies, it shows no country is really safe. When the U.S. gets labeled problematic, it means local communities lose trusted news sources. That's less scrutiny on those in power, and it opens the door to corruption or government actions going unchecked.
And in places like China or Uganda, it's more direct. Violence, jail, censorship. But if democracies are losing ground too, is this like a global trend now?
It is. It's not just journalism at risk. It's democracy itself. If the press can't operate freely, governments and big companies can act without oversight. That's how you get human rights abuses, social unrest. It's all connected.
Are journalists finding ways to push back? I mean, what are people actually doing day to day to keep the information flowing?
It's a mix, really. Some outlets are turning to reader support or nonprofit models to avoid reliance on ad money or government funds. AI tools are helping automate some reporting. And in places with censorship, journalists are using secure messaging, decentralized web platforms, even working across borders to get the news out.
So as threats change, journalism still adapts. But what about governments or international groups? How are they responding to all this?
UNESCO is hosting World Press Freedom Day events in Brussels, focusing on AI and how tech affects press freedom. They've called for days of action to raise awareness. Reporters Without Borders wants urgent reforms to rebuild the economics of independent journalism. Amnesty International is linking these attacks to a broader campaign against human rights, and they're pushing for coordinated global action.
So, just to bring it back, if press freedom collapses, what's really at stake for everyone else?
Honestly, everything. Free press is what makes accountability, transparency, and informed citizenship possible. Without it, people lose access to reliable information and can't really participate in society.
So this isn't just about journalists in danger. It's about everyone's right to know, and really whether democracy can survive.
Exactly. The 2025 World Press Freedom Index is a wake-up call. The crisis is urgent. The consequences are global. And honestly, the time to act is now.
Thanks for joining us. We'll keep watching and, keep asking. Can democracy survive without a free press?
Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for listening.